Good morning. Welcome to the community briefing. My name is Gregory Sneed. Today is April 24? 24, right? Yep. 24th of April. I don't know why I'm a day ahead of myself. It's the 25th of year, the 2025, and we are glad you're here. Our guest today is Keldren Joshua, also known as K-Pook Josh.
Yes.
And he'll be joining us momentarily and telling us his story of where he's been, where he is, and where he's going. Again, I'm Gregory Sneed. I'm the owner and CEO of Lifesaver Financial Services. I help my clients to keep more of the money they make. Now it's my pleasure to bring to the virtual stage our queen of the community briefing, Miss Crystal Mitchell.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to have you here. Excited about our guest, and actually even more excited because I realize he's married to that sexy woman that got a whole lot of attention when we were out there when I was marketing her when she was a guest on the show, Miss Cheryl Silvers. And so I'm excited to see and hear from her son, Keldren, right? My name is Crystal Mitchell. I'm the co-director of Recycle Black Dollars, as well as I'm a business coach and consultant in Los Angeles. I work with a number of organizations helping small businesses become successful. I am also the inspiration behind the community briefing. I just feel that it's very necessary in this day and age that we have a platform that we can speak freely and we can introduce ourselves to all of the amazing Black excellence that lives throughout our country, and introducing them to you guys. So that's the purpose of the platform, is to make sure we are well aware of what's going on in our community and meet those individuals that are just being just amazingly excellent in their craft and their skill set. So welcome. We have an amazing team. Obviously, you met Greg, Mr. Stephen Turner, Ms. Robin should be on shortly. And we just have all these great guests that come and visit us every week. That's part of the community, the community briefings community. So we welcome all of you back. We are monetarily sponsored and powered and supported by Recycling Black Dollars and the BBA, the Black Business Association. And our monetary sponsorships are Los Angeles LDC, Southern California Edison, Wells Fargo Bank, PCR, and SoCal Gas. And if you guys want to support us, we are more than welcoming your support. So thank you for being here. And with that, I am going to turn it over to, since Robin's not here, and Stephen is going to come in at the end. Stephen is our producer, so we could not do this without him. Yay. And so now I'm going to turn it back over to Greg, and he is going to take it from there. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you, Crystal, and welcome everybody. Our guest today is Keldren Joshua, or K-Pook, or K-Pook de Mayor, and he's going to be sharing a bunch of information about him, about his journey. He is an urban fashion designer and social media influencer, and his story of redemption has captured the hearts and minds of a lot of people, both here in the U.S. and worldwide. He was sentenced to 15 years of life in prison as a first-time nonviolent drug offender, and his life took a dramatic turn when President Obama, 44, granted him the clemency after serving 10 years in prison. That is awesome, and I can't imagine the feeling. The feelings that went through the mind, and I'm sure he'll share some of that. So his experiences now, he has a second chance. And a lot of times, some of us, we don't get a second chance. And sometimes people give us a second chance and we don't take advantage of it, or we squander it. But this individual has a second chance, and he is showing resilience and determination to overcome those challenges. And whatever society might look at, you can prove them wrong by becoming a thriving fashion entrepreneur that he is, and a role model for others to seek. So we didn't get a chance to find out much of his background. Where is he from? Where did he grow up? So we're going to ask them that to say, okay, where you from? And sometimes in certain parts of town, somebody say, where you from? You looking around like, so it's not that kind of thing. We're going to ask you where you're from, and where you are and where you're going. So it's my pleasure to bring to the virtual stage Mr. Keldren Joshua.
Hello, everyone. How you doing? Can you hear me loud and clear?
We hear you loud and clear.
Thank you. Thank you very much. My name is Keldren Joshua, also known as K. Poop the Mayor for the streets of Los Angeles and for everyone that's out there in the entertainment business. I was born in Compton, California, but I was raised in Downey, California. We were like the first Black family to move there in the early 70s. So I was able to get a diverse of whites and Blacks and Asians all at one time and growing up in the 70s and the 80s. So this allows me to stretch my mind a little bit further than the average person that's just born in the ghetto or born and raised in the hood or something like that.
Awesome. So tell us about you told us about growing up in Downey.
Yes.
Tell us about, what was happening. You stumbled across some things that were, sorry, my dentist calling me. Some things that the streets can take you one direction or another. Life can take you one direction or another. You ended up in a situation that was ideally not desirable, and the Lord works in mysterious ways. And through the president, you were part of the clemency program that he did, and was able to give brothers a second chance. So tell us, sort of the part, like take us through the story. Growing up, kind of going through
Growing up,
school, and
growing
then
up in Downey, I went to Downey High School. I actually didn't graduate from high school. I was like 10 credits short from graduating, but then I ended up somehow getting into UCLA business. And then I also went to school at Cerritos College, community college. And that's where I took radio communications as some class. And from there, growing up within the 80s, in the 90s, hip hop was a thing that was just starting to birth itself. And with that birth, I was part of it, so having hip hop as part of my DNA and growing up, you just start learning, you learn the streets a little bit different. I didn't gangbang, so that was nothing. That was going to happen, and my mother was not going to let that happen at all. Plus, there wasn't gangbanging in Downey. And then, as I started growing up, and as a teenager, my mother shipped me to Inglewood and gave me a choice. She says, "You're either going to grow up and learn your Blackness, either at high school or in middle school." And so I chose to go there during middle school to Inglewood and basically just feel how it was to growing up in a Black neighborhood. My mother did not want me to just feel that everything was going to be, this is the wrong saying, but she didn't want me to feel that life was going to be all hunky dory. And I appreciate her for doing that, because when I made that choice to come to high school, that was at the height of gang violence. So I was nowhere near the gang violence by living in Inglewood in the early 80s, from 85 and on. I was living in Downey, so it just allowed me to be free and educate myself in a different form. Along with that, educating myself, with hip hop coming in, and then I started DJing, and around the early 90s, I started my first clothing line with my friend Freddie Behar. He just got classes in Cal State Northridge, and his dad paid for everything. And his dad was like, "Look, if you want to make money, you're gonna have to learn how to screen print, because that's what I do." And there's a lot of people out there that want screen printing. And so then him and I, as partners that we work, since I've known this guy since he was 6 years old, we started doing screen printing and started doing T-shirts. And that was my first taste of getting into fashion in 1993. Along with my mother, who always would do fashion herself and always made sure that I was dressed properly, and her doing videos and things like that. She kind of just, she didn't push me to do fashion, but she opened my eyes to fashion. And she opened my eyes to modeling and doing things like that and getting on video. So right there, I knew that I wanted to be involved in the entertainment business, and get myself involved somehow. So my first job that I had in fashion was working at the Cooper building, which was a building in Los Angeles that everybody went to. And I worked at the Guest store for a while. And then from there, um, grew up a little bit. And then in the mid 90s, I started working for Cross Colors. And that was the real big impact when urban sportswear really made an impact at that time. And so I was lucky to walk right into working into Cross Colors. And from Cross Colors, I went to started working with Carl Kanai at that time. And along with that, I was also doing the music, and I was DJing also. So here it is. I'm putting the two things together: the fashion and the music. Along with that, from Cross Colors, I went and I started working at another clothing line, which was called American Apparel. And from there, I learned more about the real business of clothing and fashion and buying blanks and how you make them and helping other people out. And then it just really just from there, I just said, hey, I want to start doing more, get more involved in fashion. But during those times, I just happened to hit a little hiccup, and I I followed the wrong person and did the wrong thing, knowing when I was raised very well, was never involved in anything like that or doing any kind of dope deals or anything. But I just tried to help somebody out, which really just got me into a lot of trouble. But you know. God sees different things, and sometimes you just need a little lesson. And I got a little lesson, and now I'm out. And now I'm out trying to do a blessing and give people some knowledge about life. I also like to do my fashion. I'm really just trying to pay it back. Like earlier when you said, Obama with number 44, he gave me this opportunity to come out. So for me, it feels like I have to pay it forward. So by paying it forward is also like when I could talk to kids and talk to other people and other prisoners when they get out of prison and help them get that guideway to live their life a little bit different, because I was lucky to get that extra chance to get out early. And, that's where I am right now.
Did you have to do something proactively in order to be in consideration for the clemency, or something in the middle, or was it just God's intervention that
Um,
it came about?
it was mostly God's intervention, because I never knew anything about it, because you had to qualify, and you need, I think it was like 5 qualifications that you needed to even be nominated um, to try to get elected by Obama to choose you to get the clemency. And I needed 5. You needed 5, and I didn't have 5. I think I only qualified for 3 of them. And once my lawyer, who was helping me out, who was putting this together, his name was Andre Townsend. He found something that was going to help me out, to help me get the extra 2 um, things I needed to qualify. And from there, the rest is kind of like history. I didn't try to apply to get out by President Obama, because I felt that there were more people that was in prison at that time, and I'd rather them get that chance than myself when I knew I didn't qualify. So I never even tried to even apply myself. This wonderful man just happened to look for cases, because they were trying to find cases that would work, because it was something that they were trying to do that's never been done by letting not that many people out of prison. And he just kept looking and looking, and then he stumbled upon me, and they just started looking at the case, and then the case was just, it's just like I just got a little bit longer time than I should have for what was going on with my case.
And does it start off with sort of disbelief, like, no, this can't be happening? And
Well, yeah, well, again, they never told. I had no idea. It's just that one day when I was I was in my 10th year. I was a head orderly of the prison. Um, I was in a certain area that I would take care of, that I would do in the morning. And we have a bell that goes off in the prison. And if this bell goes off in the prison in the morning, or or you hear this bell, you know that they're looking for somebody, or somebody did something wrong. Well, I heard the bell, but I didn't hear them calling my name. And normally they wouldn't call my name because I never do anything anyway. But they were looking for me, and then they were looking all over the prison for me. And then one person finally told them, I know where he is. And then they found me, and they were all standing up. All the COs were standing up, and they were like, go up top. And then I'm like trying to ask them questions, and they wouldn't answer me. So I go up top to go see my counselor, and my counselor is in her office, and she's crying. And I'm asking her, why are you crying? She's like, you need to have a seat. And I'm like, nah, I ain't taking a seat. And she's still crying. And then in my head, I'm thinking my grandmother's old, or something happened to my mother. So I'm like, my head is thinking completely something else, because she's crying and she's telling me to sit down. And we're fighting over it for about 5 minutes. And finally I sit down. And when I do sit down, she says, look, I did something that I'm not supposed to do. But she says, I just had this feeling. And she also explained that other people had came into her office when the letters would come from Obama. These letters would from the White House. These letters would come, and she would open them up with the inmate there, and the inmate would open them, and it would say denied, and she would see that all the time. And so, she would let the inmate had to open up the letter and then read it and give it to her, and then we go from there. But she says something about this letter. I had to open it. She goes, I felt it. I had to open it. And then she opened up the letter, and then she handed it to me. And then I got the letter, and I started reading it, and it just didn't make any sense. It didn't. I always get teared up on this because it's a miracle.
It didn't compute.
It's just to read that letter that said you were free, and that Obama let me free it didn't make any sense. I looked up in the sky, and I asked God, why me? Why you choose me? And I got the answer now, but at that time I didn't have the answer. And it's just that it was just a miracle, And so the first thing I wanted to do was call my mother. I'm like, I gotta call my mom. And she's like, no, you can't call your mom. And I said, why? She says, oh, you have to call the White House. They're expecting a phone call from you. And so then I called the White House, and they were asking me, are you okay? Are you okay? Do you need anything? I'm like, no, I just want to leave. They're like, are you sure we can help you out? We can give you a car. What you want to do? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. And they kept asking me these questions, and I'm like saying, this is a miracle. I'm telling them it's a miracle that you chose me, blah, blah, such and such. And so then finally she says, are you sure you don't need anything? And I said, I'm sure I don't need anything. And then I go, hey, you know what? I do. I do want.
How about a steak sandwich, right?
No. I asked her, I said,
Mama.
Up. And she started laughing. She says, no one's ever asked for Air Force One to pick them up. And she says, no, Air Force One can't pick you up. And so then I said, okay, well, how about Marine 2, the helicopter? Can it just fly over the prison, drop down the ladder, and I can leave? And she's like, no, we can't do that either. And, so she says, so she's laughing. She's like, wow. She's oh, you're charismatic. And I said, okay, well, thank you very much. I said, well, can you do one favor for me? And she's like, what's that? And I said, well, can you tell Barry? I said, thank you. And she says, Barry? And I said, isn't that what you guys call him? You guys don't call him Barack. You call him Barry, don't you? And then she started laughing again. And then we just hung up the phone. And then next phone call was, of course, to my mother. So I called her up next. And she kind of like already knew that I was getting it or something. And she was like, did you get it? Did you get it? And then I just started laughing. And she asked me, did I get it? And I said, yeah, Mom, I'm coming home. And then she just started, she was at a mall in Atlanta, and she was just having the time of her life and screaming. I can just hear her screaming. And at that time, if you do recall, that was when Hillary Clinton and Trump were going up against each other. And my mother was just like, bleep Trump, bleep Hillary, Obama got my son out. Because you got to realize a lot of African Americans, our own people, always feel that Obama didn't do anything for us. But how can he do anything? His hands were tied. You know what I mean? His hands were really tied, and the world expected him to do something just for Black people, and he outsmarted them. The reason why you can figure this out is because the first 4 was just given to us, but the next 4 were deserved. So that's why, he was doing the right thing, and getting me out is basically, he did something good to me. He did something good for my family. So here I am.
That's an awesome story. Prayers, and there is a God, and he works in mysterious ways, and
Yeah.
you ask him why me, and his response was, why not you?
Yeah.
Good. Amen. So what was like, we'll spend a couple of minutes. We want to get focused on what you're doing presently. But, so like, what was the first thing you had you got to eat, and you say, okay, I just want this, or
when I came out, you can go to KABC. I think you can type my name, and it shows me when I first come out. And I remember when I first came out, my mom picked me up. All my friends were outside of the prison, and we were giving hugs and everything. And we had we're gonna have like a little celebration at my grandmother's house. So they had everything out, every type of food. You get the mac and cheese, and like there was more food than I could probably eat at that time. You know what I mean? Because everything was there, and I wanted to taste everything. But what the funniest thing was that when I walked in the car with my mother hands me an iPad, and I go, "What is this?" Because I'm in there for 10 years. When I go into prison, it's flip phones, and I come out, it's iPads. And so it was like a turn of the century for me. Plus, besides that, all the news stations were out there. KABC, KNBC, all the radio stations were all out from Los Angeles, like all focused on me. And it made me, I got my little 15 minutes of fame through the news and everything. So it was fun. It was very fun.
That's an awesome story. So now we're in transition to where you are today, what you're doing.
Yeah.
Unless you left something out that you want to.
Well, yeah, but I have to also say that there was also another lawyer that helped me. There was also another 2 lawyers that helped me, Myra Mossman, and also Mr. Anthony England. He also helped me out also with this. Those 3 lawyers all put together to help me get to where I am right now.
Awesome. So now fast forward to today and what you've been doing, what you're doing now, what's in the future. Let's, hit the fast forward button and take us to.
So we fast forward. I'm this August I'll be out 9 years, and I've done a lot within those 9 years since I came. The first thing I did when I finally came out, I had to figure. I have great friends, and my friends all supplied me with a job, supplied me with a car, places to stay, clothing, phones. Friends, man, very important in your life. They supported me while I was in there, and those same friends supported me as soon as I came out. So it's very important to have communication and never let communication go. And from there, I just said, hey, I need to figure out something that I can do, because I was already 45 years old. I didn't feel like working at a warehouse. I didn't want to do any heavy structural things that, I did all that while I was inside prison. So now I'm just like, hey, let me go back to what I know best, and that is doing clothing, doing fashion. And that's where it leads me to now. Started going back. I made this iconic shirt right here, which is my favorite rap group, which is the Wu-Tang Clan, and my favorite baseball team, which is the LA Dodgers. So I call it Wu LA. And that's what I started with. That was my first project. And this one project has taken me across the world, to Paris, Amsterdam, Nice, Barcelona, just because of this shirt. With the networking that I've done and giving it to the certain people in the certain hands, it's taken me around the world. And I've also got to meet the Wu-Tang Clan with it, because of this shirt. And I actually got permission from Method Man. So that's why I've been doing it. And I only bring it out. I mean, I only bring it out during baseball season. So because that's what it is. And I also do a version of this for the Atlanta Braves.
So
I'm a Mets fan, so I got no.
You gotta understand. Well, you and I are basically good friends because the Mets are basically when the San Francisco Giants and the Dodgers left New York, they met the Metropolitans. So that's the history of the Mets. So you and I are kind of friends there. So I will make you a Mets Wu-Tang T-shirt so you can fit right in.
Well, my middle school was on the former grounds of Ebbets Field, so
wow.
so that that at least has some connection there.
You got things coming to you for sure.
Yeah. Crystal, over to you.
Absolutely amazing, inspirational story. Especially, you never know what God has, what plans He has for you as an individual, right? So He chooses who He chooses, and of course He doesn't give you a pre warning. And
no,
so I am just in awe that who you are and how you've been able to overcome, because a lot of people couldn't have, right? You would have had plans before, but you would have figured out, hey, that'll never happen. But while you were, and I know it didn't seem possible, but while you were, obviously you were still working on your plans to be in the clothing industry. Was that still something you were working on?
Well, some people, let's just say this: some people, when they think about prison and jail and what they call it, for me, the 10 years I spent at Terminal Island in San Pedro, I called it criminal college. So while I was there, I was learning, right? Learning to be ready. So when I come out, so it's like if I went to college, some people spend 6 to 8 years in college. Well, I spent 10 years in criminal college, and then when I came out, I'm ready to go. I started, like, you remember, I know some of you guys are Fred Flintstone fans. You know how he would run and his feet would move real crazy? Well, that's how my feet are right now. I'm constantly running, shoes on or shoes off, since I've left prison. And you're right. A lot of people come out of prison. They don't even want to talk about that they even went in there. They shy away from it. I've only met a couple of people that I know that's gotten clemency that like to talk about it. Me, myself, I don't mind letting people know my prison number and what I did for my life, because when they look at me and they see how I am, they go, you did how much time? When? I can't tell. You're always happy. And I spent most of my time in prison with a smile because I knew one day it was going to end.
Wow. Amazing. So your clothing line, so where are you, in stores, or do you do e-commerce? How do you
No, it's basically I'm going to be doing e-commerce. I'm not in any stores right now. I personally like to make personal clothing, right? So
Okay.
I like to make individual things so that it's yours. I myself believe that there is no such thing as fashion. Okay, fashion is whatever you want it to be, because when you're a little kid, and you've all have seen little kids or yourself, you walk up and you grab that green sock, that blue sock, that purple shirt, those yellow pants, because you wanted that, right? And your parents were like, if you try to give something else, you'll start screaming as a kid and they go, that's what he wants to wear, and let him go. But then when he's walking around, he don't care. He's happy. Him or she is happy. They don't care. People are like, hey, that's cute. They're like this and that. So that's why I don't believe that there is a such thing as fashion. We've just been manipulated that we have to follow a trend. So that's why I want to make individual clothing for you. I want you to tell me your style, what you like, and let me try to make something that will be yours. That's why I created the Jacket Boys. I started off with jackets, and I asked people like, hey, what do you like? Give me some things that you like. Give me some colors you like. Give me some things. Let me put my mind together to it and make you something, because I feel that jacket is almost like, you know how Linus went everywhere with his blanket, right? Didn't matter. He was always with his blanket when you saw him. Well, I want to make you a jacket that even if it doesn't match what you're wearing that evening, this is your personal jacket with your story. And every item that I make for you, I want to make sure that it has a story so you can say this patch or this logo means this and this means this to me and this means this, because it's all about individuality.
Yeah, there are a lot of unique designers out there that you look at their stuff like, okay, who did you make that for? But they had somebody in mind when they put
Right.
it together, and it's not what traditional. It's just that's kind of isn't that what haute couture is? It's just the most extreme,
Yeah.
but it's fashion, right? Somebody
It's fashion.
likes
It's
it.
fashion. Yes.
So what are your plans for your now that it's been 9 years? So what is actually your ultimate goal for your fashion line?
Well, my ultimate goal is basically to make sure that everybody gets a piece of it. Like for Los Angeles and for Atlanta, I like to make pieces that I can be remembered by. I have donned myself as the West Coast version of Dapper Dan, and if you guys all know who Dapper Dan is, right? And I
Yeah.
grew up, like again, that's that hip hop era. So I grew up watching what Dapper Dan did. So now I'm doing my version of what Dapper Dan was doing, but just on a slightly not all the way to the edge. But I just wanted to bring the creative side. Um, and with the Jacket Boys, I just want everybody to have a piece of it. That's why I preach so much that everybody should have their own individual clothing. That's something that's theirs. Also, with that, I have a YouTube channel. Jacket Boys also has jacketboys.tv on YouTube, and you can go on there, and I'll show you how to shop, and I'll show you how to buy stuff. And also on there, I'll show you some of the celebrities that I've made things for. Um, I'm sort of like a stylist. I've made something for Be Real from Cypress Hill, DJ Battle Cat, which we all know, and also Sister Nancy. So I style individuals with what I feel that they should be wearing at that time, or which in the situations of where they're at. Along with that, I have another project, a big project that my friend Thomas Curdy and I are working on, which is called "I Never Had Dinner with the President." So
Mm.
it's going to be a documentary where I'm going to find individuals, and I'm going to talk to them that have been released by President Obama. So we never had dinner with the president. Comes again. There's another hip hop reference that comes from Ice Cube, and so my everything I do has something to do with the community that I grew in, and I grew in the hip hop community.
Years and years ago, I had a student. He also had been incarcerated uh, um, when he was a young man during the drug era in Los Angeles. And so the whole time he was in prison, all he was thinking about was this cosmetic line that he wanted to create. So he created his business plan, and when he came out 20 years later, that's exactly what he did. And he is such an inspirational young man. And he said, like you, when I went in, there were flip phones. When I came out, there were iPhones. And his daughter was now 20 years old versus, she was an infant when he went in. So I always have brought him to when I'm speaking to students at school, because sometimes our young people think that uh, maybe it's the videos that prison is glamorous and don't realize exactly how much it takes away from you. So I bring him in to talk to students that have that mentality, and when he goes away, when I ask my kids who is the favorite speaker, they are like, Kevin was absolutely incredible, because I told her I had to do a class. I was doing a class at Crenshaw and Dorsey, and these kids were just hardcore, and I couldn't get to them. And I was like, okay, I know somebody that can get to you. And I just told him, man, I just need you to curb the language, but I need you to come in and give them the real deal. I need you to tell them that that is not summer vacation. And so he did. And so it turned a lot of the kids around who was just being so hard for no reason because they thought that's what was cool. And so you have a message that our children today need to hear. I don't know if that's definitely with your podcast, with your project you're working on, but a book. You should be on tours talking to kids all throughout this country because that's what they need to hear.
Oh, you're right. I think about it too, and when I said earlier, that's God's plan. I know that is His plan. He wants me to spread the word and let everyone know. So I'll get that together as soon as I can, because I do want to. This world right now is completely different. It's kind of like since I left in 90, in 2000, since I left in 2006, right before the from 2006 till now, the world was a little bit different. So when I come out, I remember everything prior to 2006. And that's when, these new kids, this new generation, they don't really seem to understand. They have no respect. They don't understand anything. They want to fight everyone. They want to shoot everyone. I mean, they get bullied. I recall going to high school, and not once between 84 and 89 did I hear that there was a school shooting because someone got bullied or punked. If you got bullied or punked and you came home and you told your mom that you got bullied or punked and they took your money, they said, well, we're not going to give you no more money until you fight this dude and do whatever you have to do, right?
Right.
So that's why we're a little bit tougher than they are. Hey, if their phones go off, they don't know how to get home. They don't know how they're done, right? So
right.
This generation is really, really soft. These kids are real soft. And it's sad that we can't whoop them. We can't put our hands on them. We can't correct them the right way. None of that stuff happens. And I think that there needs to be how would you say there needs to be a time where they need to meet God and go in that room and let them know that you better fear me. I used to fear my mother.
And as you should have.
And my grandmother, I feared them, right?
It's called a come to Jesus moment.
Right? The talk of I'm gonna take you out if he don't. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like you were afraid. Like to this day, I'm still afraid of my mother. When I hear that little tone that she says when she says my name, I'm like, oh. Even at this age, I know that's the tone I don't want to hear. So these kids now, they don't care. They just, you got kids living in the same house, texting each other. They don't talk no more.
Right, exactly.
So that's why we're losing. We're losing because these kids don't talk anymore. We're losing kids because of sports. And then we're losing because things are being taken away. So what's left out there? That's why I feel that I always tell my friends and everyone, I'm the people's champ. I'm coming to let you guys know how I'm going to give you the last of the last of what the real world used to be like. I even tell people after 2020, that was all that we saw. Everything after 2020 is a whole new world because everything's changed. People are afraid of each other. People are individually to themselves. So this is a whole new world for them. And let me tell you, I've been out 9 years, almost 9. But it takes, and I'm moving fast. I told you I'm running like Fred Flintstone. It takes almost a year and a half just to get back 1 year. So I'm still behind. I'm still catching up constantly. Right. But I have to stay forward because I'm in the future. And then I got to think about what I'm going to do in my future, but I'm still catching up. So I'm still constantly inputting.
Wow.
But at the same time I'm inputting, I have to give out. So
yeah, exactly. Because you have such an inspirational message. And just like Kendrick Lamar, it just takes that one person to say it to that one person that actually hears it and it redirects their lives, right? And I think your outlook on life, because a lot of people come out and it's the woe is me, but obviously your mom instilled in who you were when you were a child, and so therefore that's what you're operating on is what she taught you when you were a kid or exposed you to as a child. So you just take that as a lesson, and that's pretty incredible. But it does take us, anyone like you who are out there, and we don't know who we're touching. We just have to get out there and touch them, right? And it's going to transform somebody. And you're still a work in progress because you got to make up for 10 years to the day.
like some of these girls I try to date, they don't understand. They're like, oh, you're just too much. I'm like, I'm still fixing myself. I'm not ready. I'm still
right, exactly.
myself.
You got 10 years to make up, and that was some developmental years that you making up over there. But you had a plan before you went in. You had a desire. You had something that you wanted to do.
Right.
And I think that's a big difference, right? So if you had nothing when you went in, then you would have come out with nothing. But you had something, and obviously for you to be commuted as you were, and it was just. It's like Obama went down into a basket and came out with your name and said, "This is the dude right here." I mean, that's God's work. I don't know what else you can say.
He's my superhero. If I ever say I need a superhero, my superhero is Obama, and he's got a cape on. That's it. You know what I mean? So, and especially for at this time, as us being black, we don't have any more black heroes, right?
Yeah.
All our black heroes, they made sure they got rid of them real quick. And then the ones we have now, the kids are all rappers. No, they're not heroes.
Wait. You're our hero. You're our hero. Today, you are our hero, okay?
Well,
don't tell me we ain't got no black heroes. You're our hero.
Yeah, because you are awesome. Stephen had a question. Stephen, and then there's a number of questions in the chat.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Given your story and your mission and your passion, but what can we in the Black community be a resource to you? What are you looking for the next level?
Well, for the Black community, I wish that the Black community would actually help me out. You know what I mean? So I'm doing all this stuff individually by myself, right? I use whatever cash I make from whatever hustle or whatever job I do it. I make it, I sell it, I have it. There it is. But I think that all the communities should really just get together. Black, white, doesn't matter. I'm a rainbow when it comes to communities, right? I think if people can just individually help each other, it's all about helping. But if there's a way that we can start getting our Black community to start looking at these small businesses and helping these small businesses type people like myself, then we can keep pushing forward and build our community bigger, because we need to build our Black community. Our Black community needs to be huge. We need to build back our Black Wall Street. We need that right now because they're opening the doors to do it anyway. So we need to start focusing on that.
And you're absolutely right. So the other day, and I have another podcast and I'm doing a show on it tomorrow. But I read an article, someone posted something on TikTok to say, wow, wait, I just did a research, and the group that is holding America together, because we're consumers, is the Black people. We spent $1.98 trillion in the last 2 years. We're the consumers. And so, we need to be represented in that. And far as programs for you, dude, I got some programs that are from everywhere in the city. So we gonna have to talk, because Vermont Slauson has a fashion program, and they have money on the backside of that. The Urban League has been running 2 cohorts, one called the MBDA, where they help people in the creative spaces find money and help you prepare for that. And then we have another program. So if you're interested, I got programs for you that I can get you into. But I also have some young people that I need you to talk to, because I teach them how to be entrepreneurs, and they always have a fashion line, and they need to hear from someone that's been working on a fashion line for a while.
Look, I've been working. I'm still not there, and I'm still working. Like I told you, I started in '93, and I'm still going. I'm just getting started. Now it's fun. Now it's fun, right? Now I can see people and say, "Come on with me. I can get your line ready in like 10 minutes." And they like, "Look, how did you do that so fast?" Because I already got all the knowledge. I'm already ready to go. I'm gonna give you the super shortcuts, because I already did the long cuts for you. So let me just show you this. But I'm also going to teach you. But I also think what you're saying that, and I really appreciate that. I want to talk to you about that. But we need a lot of more mentors, right? And we need and something that my mother and I talk about is African Americans, our Black communities. We need to start teaching our kids and even others about financing. The white man is not going to teach us financing. Okay. So we need to start having programs that people that have money and not just be black and have money and keep it to yourself. You need to show us and show these kids the future how to keep this money, because there's too many of us that are just living on Section 8s and things like that, and something that the government had the government planned the Section 8 long time ago. So I mean, people need to actually go and look at their history and figure it out. All these little rappers that are running around making hundreds of millions of dollars and buying a $40,000 or $300,000 jewelry when they could be buying a house, and when they could be thinking about their future and put it in their mama's name and all that stuff like that. This is what needs to be happening, but nobody is telling them.
Yeah, and when that, you're absolutely right. There's a couple questions. Greg, you had one, and then we want to get to the questions that's in the chat, and then Destiny, I think, had a question.
Yeah, quick one. So I was taking a look at your merch, and hopefully you have something that doesn't have Dodger stuff on it.
No. I don't. That's just my bread and butter part of my merch, where, you know, because I'm from LA and I represent LA so much, man. So, but I do have other things that I will that you'll be able to see.
And where are you living now? You got this hat on. You in Texas?
No, man. I'm Compton has cowboys, you know, and I was born in Compton, so I got to represent. And I'm right now. I'm in Long Beach right now. I'm on a boat. A Duffy boat in Long Beach. My friend and I, we drive a Duffy boat in Long Beach. We get about 10 people. You come and ride. We take you around the whole little area. It's a very nice thing, and it's beautiful. Like, even for this, like, for me to be black and in this and co-sponsor this Duffy boat with my friend who is Mexican, you know, we're in here and we're giving people rides. But, you know, when I go and tell my people, I say, hey, man, why don't you come and support me and come ride this boat with me? They're like, I'm like, come on, man. You know, I got a boat. It's a black man on a boat. Come on, let's do this. You know, you don't see it too much, and we don't get these opportunities. But because of my friends and because of where I've grown up and because of, you know, just who I am, they're like, yo, you can drive my boat anytime. Put some people on there. Let's have some fun. So I'm like, we need to, I need my people to wake up and come mess with me.
Well, okay. Well, we're going to make sure I clip that line and let that go all over social media. There's some questions. Laura wants to know, how long does it take you when you do a request for a garment? How long does that take you?
It depends on it really depends on what it is that they're looking for. If it's a jacket, that's anywhere from 7 to 10 days. If it's something custom, like a dress or something, that would take a little bit longer because I have to get your measurements and measure you out and make sure you see the material and everything. So that might take a little longer, anywhere from 14 days to 30 days. It all really just depends on what it is that you want to do. But I try to get them in and get them out as fast as I can. Okay,
all right. Remember, guys, he's trying to make up for time there, so he can't be gagging in the studio. Someone asked, did you have a business plan, or do you have a business plan?
No, I don't have a complete business plan. So if they want to help me market it and put it together right now, I'm just running freely.
Okay. And, well, I'm going to be that mentor consultant that you need. And I got I have a whole community of colleagues that would love to do that. So I got that. Someone wants to know, what is the name of your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I saw it's the name.
What is the name of your YouTube channel?
It's called Jacket Boys, JACKITBOIZ.TV.
All right.
And everybody go over to, and we're going to put that in the chat, go over to his YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button, because that matters, and hit the like button, because those numbers matter. Those numbers matter if he's trying to monetize. So we need all of you. There's 20 people on this call. I need you guys to go do that. So we'll put that in the chat. And then let's see, there's a couple other questions. Your mom's got you're magical to her. And you know this, right?
Right.
Laura wants to know, once you've created an item, can it be replicated to make a profit, or do you keep a license on it and it's just a one of a kind? Because sometimes people just want a one of a kind.
I mean, look, if it's something for someone, if it's an individual, I do not and will not make a double of it for them, because I don't want anybody else wearing something I made for you. Now, if it's something that I can see it can work for something, I might change it around a little bit, and I like the style. Yeah, I'll do some changing and maybe do some different patterns, or if it's patches, I'll do a different patch pattern. But when it comes down to it, if it's that hot, it's yours, and I keep it that way. And I like to do things in very small batches. I'd like to keep things under 50 to 100 pieces, and that's it.
Oh,
so you
okay.
get it,
So
and when it's gone, it's gone.
So one of a kind, like
One
a
of a
painting,
kind.
huh? You're like an artist.
Well, of course, we all love Basquiat, so that was the one.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm an artist too.
Oh, cool.
Well, if you do some artwork, just try to put it on a T-shirt so we can make you some money, and you can see people wearing your art. That's, you know what I mean? That's all.
That'd be awesome.
I will definitely guide you and show you how to do it.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so Destiny, you obviously want to go over to his IG and all of his, so you can reach out to him and he will ask him to get information for you, because I think that's wonderful. Is it Tito? He has a question. How do you manage and to nurture self-love while navigating life behind bars? And the second part of that question is, what are the strategies you use to maintain that sense of worth during those challenging times that you had?
First and foremost, God in the universe guides you, right? So I wake up every morning and I go, what's next? And then I lay in my bed, and I to this day, when I was in my prison bed, when I woke up, it was I had a picture of Obama standing when he won, and it said underneath it said Black Power. So every morning and every night before I went to sleep, I saw Obama, right? So that would give me because he pushed me. He pushes me. This is even before he let me, even before I knew he was going to let me out, he was already pushing me, because I'm like, a black man is the president. We only saw it in the movies. So if he can do it, then I can do whatever I want to do. And to this day now, where I sleep in my bed, I have a picture of Obama. So when I wake up in the morning, because I sleep on my back, I see him, and that's what pushes me forward. That's what pushes me to do everything that I need to do. And
wow.
He's my guiding light to success.
Wow. So that's what I call manifestation, man. You brought him into your life.
Yeah.
You praised, you gave homage to him every single day while you were in prison. And that's what we call manifestation. You brought him
so
into your life.
That pushes me with this future. That just pushes me so much. And I just go. And of course, I had to say it again, I just want my mother to be proud.
Well, I think she is. She's been popping messages in here. And your mother is a special individual as well. I mean, when she came on, we were just so damn impressed. I think I talked about her for like a couple of weeks afterwards. Every time I talk, and I was like, let me tell you guys about this lady who started exercising at this time, and look where she is. So yeah, your mother is. That's where that started from.
And then it pops up, and here comes her son. Hey,
and Cheryl, again, my sister. You did a fantastic job, and your son is amazing and so inspirational. I mean, so many of us, I'm sure, had tears in our eyes when you were speaking, because, a life that is cut short early sometimes never comes back to recover. Right. And you've recovered, and you're making the best out of the second chance that you got, and it's transforming your life, and hopefully it's transforming many other lives as well.
Well, sometimes things happen for a reason.
Right.
And not saying that prison was the one, but maybe that was just the wake-up call, because maybe within that 10 years that I would have stayed here, and something could have happened to me, right?
Right.
So this is pause this guy for 10 years, and then we'll let him come back, and now he's gonna show people different things. That's how I feel that God has challenged me to to come back out to talk to the people and let them know, hey, this is how this is going to go. My last name is Joshua, so we all know all know who Joshua was for God.
Right.
He's like his right hand man. So he's the one that let the words out. So with me, I take honor with my last name being Joshua. So I'm gonna have to be a leader, and there's something that I'm gonna have to do, and I'm gonna figure it out. And I think I'm just doing it without even knowing it.
Right. And as you said, sometimes God has our pathway is his. What is that word? Make a plan and see how that works. He actually has the plan. I truly believe everyone at birth there was a destiny already planned for you. It's just your choice on which direction you're gonna go. But also for some of us, he had the direction, so he had to revert you in order to get you right back on the path that he wanted you to be on. And so I think you're listening, because some people don't, and you're listening, and he's got huge plans for you. So you don't have to race there. He gonna get you there.
I don't have to be Twinkle Toes Flintstone no more.
He got you, my man. He got you, Stephen.
Do we have any more questions? I mean, I'm ready to answer. I know we have a short of time, but
I know.
I'm ready to
answer. I just want to let you know, Joshua. Mr. Joshua will call you that, give you respect.
Yes, thank you.
Resources and people on this call, you should connect. Naturally, Crystal Mitchell, she's the founder of this program. She has immeasurable resources. Sarah Harris, she's the president and CEO of the Black Business Association. She can take you from A to Z with your plan. We have Joseph Duncan, who's a seasoned business owner and has a proven record of making money. Bianca Wobecki, Renee Tabor, and some others. So take advantage of we are a village and community, and we got your back, and we're supportive of you. And Cheryl being your mom, the introduction, she gives you 50 years of relationships, and we're going to hand it over to you.
Okay, I appreciate that. One of my biggest things is that whatever I do want to give back to these prisoners when they get out of prison, because they need help. I want to form something that will give them at least a Visa card, some shoes, something. I want to give back. I have to give back to them. So whatever organization or whatever I create, I'm giving back.
We have Booker. He has come on. He hasn't been on in a while, but that's the population he works doing. What do they call it? Where they help inmates reassemble back into the community. I will make that introduction to you. That's what he does, and he has a number of organizations. That's what they're doing as well. So I'll make sure you get that information.
Yeah, even if I make my business big enough, I would hire them. I want them to have something.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll make sure you do that, because he's that guy. He's the guy that can make that happen. And so I'll make that introduction. You, my friend, have been an inspiration with this world being as crazy it is every day. And us as Black people need to do exactly what you say. We need to embrace ourselves. We're on this planet for a reason. We're God.
And we created so much, and we just gave it away, and then we just walk away from it. So it's time to stop walking away and time to build.
And it's time to build. And this is our time. So we need to make sure we do that. However we can help you, my brother. But I'm going to I'll get your information from Stephen and get you so we can get you all the resources you need to grow your business and realize this dream. I really think you should be applying for things like Project Runway and all those.
We just get there.
when you do all this other stuff, you need to get there. Because I've heard story, your story would just kill the interview. That's it. They just would accept you on your thing, on your story and who you are as a person. But however we can be of help, this has been amazing. Everyone, I'm going to ask you that. I don't normally ask you guys to do this, but if you'll take yourself out for me and give this man a round of applause, because he deserves it. He is a hero.
Yay!
Yes.
Keldren.
Let's go,
Yay!
Pud. Yeah.
Yes,
Man, ball,
you
let's go.
Yabba
you
dabba
are
Tito,
do.
Tito, Tito.
Yabba dabba do.
Hey, Fook, I love you, K. Fook. I'm so proud of you, man. I'm so proud. I'm so proud to be called your friend, brother. I love you, man. So proud of you. You have no idea, man.
Thank you, Tito. Thank you very much. That's my cousin right there. He's we've been through a lot of trenches together when we were young. We lived next door to each other. We grew up in the same city. We both came from Compton. We came from Linwood, and we went to Downey High School. And now he's a coach over in San Diego, and he's won a championship. I'm so proud of my man right there. My cousin he's a wonderful person, Tito Smith. So thank you, Tito.
Sounds like you're Barney.
My buddy, he
Hey,
is Barney.
110%, man. I just want to say to everybody that's listening, the first thing I said to this man when he came out was, no one else can be pardoned by Obama but Pud. And that's what I call Pookie. You guys don't know how many people he's helped along the way. This was put in the universe well before that person signed and went after Obama, because good people and good vibes should happen to good people. And I hope you guys do whatever you can to get my man's business. And I just want to stand proud of him and say, you did it, man.
Yeah.
You did it, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, Tito.
You too, Cheryl. Proud of you too. Proud of you too, Cheryl.
I love you, Tito. Thank you so much. And I want to thank Mercedes, my friend who tuned in as well. And you guys, I'm just cheesing over here, smiling and crying. And what he didn't tell you is that when he got released, it was on my 60th birthday. When he got that release from President Obama, it was on my 60th birthday. And yes, I fell to my knees in the parking lot of Arbor Place Mall and thanked God.
Awesome. And isn't that when you started your journey at 60?
I started my journey at 63 in the fitness industry. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All righty. Look at that. Is that the late stuff that happens? But you guys are amazing. You can always come back here. We love to have you back. And guys, go take a ride down in Long Beach when the weather gets nice. We got to support the brother. Go to all of his social media and make sure you hit that subscribe button on his YouTube, because I know how this feels. Hit that subscribe button, but you got to hit the like button too.
Gotta like it.
To him, and make sure you forward it on to all your friends. And if you have young people, this video, it will be up. I'll edit it this weekend. You should share this with young people. If any of you guys have any, and I know I do. So when I do my kids' class this summer, I will be showing clips of this throughout the summer. And then I'm going to ask you, Ken, if you will come out and talk to the kids. So I'll reach out to you.
Listen, I was gonna tell you I'm gonna do that anyway, but you're gonna help me. You're trying to help me get this business together too. So you and I are just stuck at the hip for this summer.
All right,
gotcha. Crystal,
yes.
Let me say one quick thing. He did not mention, which I think is very important. There was last year or 2 years ago where you went and you helped underprivileged children do a show DJing. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
How happy the mothers were, and they were crying because their children that were. You tell the story, son.
I had a friend who taught a class for special needs children, and I would come there once a week and bring my DJ equipment and DJ for them, because I have this belief that music calms the savage beast. And so I was in there as DJing, and then we put a show together with them and taught them. And I brought one of my friends that was a break dancer, and we taught these kids how to break dance, and they did a show, and the parents were just amazed to see that they had that talent. But you just have to just talk to them. And I just wanted to go sideways, and I saw that it was something that wasn't happening. So I tried it out. It worked. And I don't know. Maybe I should be helping out kids. I don't know. There's something. I don't know. Hip hop and kids. I got to do something.
Yes.
Well, we're going to help you with that direction. It's been amazing, guys. thank you all for joining us. The community briefing. I told you this is the place to be on Thursday at 11 a.m., man.
Thursdays, I'm here
Never know
now.
what's gonna be. So you want to come back next week? We have a guy. Was it VIP? It's Stephen Gahn. VIP Social.
No, we have David A. Ford from Southern
Oh,
California,
we got David
Edison,
Ford next
powering
week.
your home as well as powering the community. What business opportunities are there with Edison? And he's going to, what about the fire? What about their stance on DEI? That and other topics we covered next week.
Okay, so come on back, and then the week after that, we have the guy that actually created a Black version of Eventbrite, and so we're gonna start recycling our dollars over to support him, as well as you guys should be recycling your dollars over to Fanbase, moving your social media. You can add it on until you're ready to cut the apron string with Facebook and Instagram. But going over to Fanbase is an awesome spot as well. We have to support our own and build our own. And so you are part of that building of our own, Kendra, and Cheryl, you doing your thing over on the fitness side of it, girl. Yes. And all of us, this is the example of Black excellence. And so we want to thank you guys for joining us, and everywhere you go, uplift Black excellence. Look in the chat. Sarah has put a number of events that the BBA is hosting. So we have financial fitness, and also Greg and Stephen didn't mention that, but Greg is actually in the financial industry as well. Financial competency is what he calls it. So we're gonna hook you up, my brother. We got a whole village for you.
Bring it on because I have a whole bunch of great ideas.
Okay, we got a village for you. And then we have Black Business Day Expo. This is in May as well. Sarah, come off and talk to us about it, girl.
Real quick, the expo is in August for Black Business Month, third Saturday, August 16th. So BBA LA.
And then the financial fitness is when?
That is 2 virtual series, May 21st and 28th, and then in person June 6th.
Okay, so everybody sign up for that. Next month, May, is actually my birthday, which is next Thursday, I believe, May 1st, whenever May 1st is. And then
you're going back to Africa?
Go
to Egypt?
Well, I would be going back to Egypt in October, but I gotta let some things settle down here in this crazy country before I leave.
You might not come back.
Yeah, they'll go.
She can get there. It's coming back is the issue, right?
Yeah, they'll go through my cell phone, and I'll never get back to California. I'll never get back here. So,
also, I have a lot of connections of people also that you might want to that I would connect you with, like the owner of the Black owner of the Calvin from VIP Records. He's the owner. I have connections to him. I have a lot of other connections for you that you'd probably want to really speak to them. So I'll make sure.
Okay, and we love to have anyone on. That's what the community briefing is. So if you have some people that you think would be fantastic,
you would love to talk to
speakers.
Calvin's been around a long time. So
okay, all right. So we can get that to Stephen. Also, guys, so on May 3rd, my entrepreneurial kids, are competing in a citywide competition, and we need judges in order to judge their competition where they're pitching their businesses. So anyone interested, let me know. Okay. I'll put my information down here. We need as many. We're going to be at El Camino College. And so I will put my information here in chat. You guys can grab it. And so anybody else that wants to do that, the kids are amazing. And we need your help right now. So we need at least 12 judges. So whoever is available on May 3rd is going to be 9:00 in the morning, and it's going to be at El Camino College right there in El Segundo. And there's my information. So we're going to sign off. Lisa, we're going to stop the recording, and then we'll have a few little minutes for our afterglow. But thank you all. We have been so inspired this morning. I'm excited. This is a good way to end my week. And I just want to thank you all. And anyone that is here for the first time, please come back. We would love to have you. And Cheryl, you know, this is your family as well. So keep coming. And we are thrilled with who we had to speak with today. Thank you so much for such an inspiring hour on a Thursday. All righty, everyone. Have a great one. Be safe out there. It's a little crazy,
Yes.
but be safe.